Okie dokie, let's go into some ranked games with the Berserker and see what we can do today. So we do start off with a Bloody Amulet and our duffel bag. So Bloody Amulet is definitely crazy to start off with. We could go for a Vampiric type dagger. We could also go for a Vampiric armor, which could be a lot of fun. First of all though, let's go ahead and grab our wooden sword. Let's go ahead and craft up a hero sword. And let's go ahead and grab a garlic along with a banana as well as a stone. Now I think this is going to be round one. We're going to start off with 20 more max life with 2 stacks of vampirism, which is going to go a long way. And we're going to use our little chipped amethyst to try and remove some buffs. Hopefully, it's actually just going to hopefully try to steal that in power. That would be huge for us. Steal their vampirism would be kind of nice too. But we'll see how we get on. Because our opponent is going to be inflicting some poisons, some blinds. So we could have used it in our backpack to cleanse those debuffs. Because if we don't heal, we don't lifesteal. But as long as we actually just keep removing their buffs to heat, their power, we could actually win out. We do get our battle rage, speeding up our wooden sword, increasing the DPS of it, and definitely looking awesome. The 20 extra max life really actually paid out for us. Now, we're probably going to be looking out for Hunger Blade, which means lots of healing herbs. Piggy Bank we could take, Frying Pan we could take, I'm not as interested in it though. And I do want to take our broom, just in case we want to go for Spiked Staff. Spiked Staff Daggers, it does sound like a lot of fun too. Might as well take a shiny shell and let's move on, save our 1 gold. So adding in a second weapon for vampirism is going to be really, really nice. We're also going to be using our broom inside our duffel bag to speed up that, just not our hero sword, as well as our food items. Our opponent does have a shield that blocks some damage, which is not going to be so great. I'm glad they don't have a garlic because the garlic does have a 30% chance to remove our vampirism. But this 20 extra max life does go super, super long way in these early rounds, for sure. Especially with the 2 vampirism as well. So it's looking really, really fantastic for us. That fatigue is setting in, and it's not going to be close whatsoever. Hell yeah. It is nice to meet you. We could go for that Vampiric Dagger. We could go for Spiked Staff. I'm going to go for Knife to Meet You. Go for Falcon Blade to speed up Knife to Meet You as well. Hell yeah, let's take it. We could take the Hammer, which I'm not going to be too interested in. We could go for Shelly. Shelly for a bit of a heal too. I'm going to take it. I'm going to roll once. And I have to grab this. Armor of Whales is kind of nice. But let's take our Fanny Pack. Because I want to speed up our Knife to Meet You as well. And we can also craft up our Shelly. The problem is we're going to have to take our Garlic. Let's keep in our regen as well as our Armor of Whales. Now I still want more regen and we could end up going for Stone Golem. Which makes me really do want to keep a regen. So I'm going to take it. We just need 1 more stone. Which should be relatively awesome. Now we are facing Hammer Dagger. Luckily they don't have that increased chance of stun on their hammer. But it's still going to do some big damage. With the enchanted weapons they could get a multi-stun on us. Which means the hammer or the dagger does activate twice. But we should be able to live long enough to get our Knife to Meet You online. And not too bad. And speaking of awesome. That's a dagger. That's also Vampiric armor. But we do want to go for a Vampiric dagger. Let's grab our healing herbs, let's roll. That's our first pair of gloves. And a bit of storage with a bag of stones too. Now I'm going to take out a regen because we're going to target a Shelly with our Armor of Whales. Because that's going to be a nice little combo. After 5 seconds, it's going to activate a Shelly, give us our heal, and then it's going to trigger at 12 seconds. Knife to Meet You should get some increased speed from that too, and yeah, let's keep moving. Definitely so. Now we're going to lose 20 max life once we do craft up Vampiric Dagger, but it's going to give us tons and tons of lifesteal, which is exactly what we want. As Shelly does trigger, cleansing any poison our opponent is inflicting, and it should trigger again right at 12 seconds. Keeping us super healthy. Our freaking vampirism is going to be gone, but are we going to be able to survive this Excalibur? Because it's looking super close, and unfortunately, just not enough. We had so much heals, but it still wasn't enough. Let's grab our storage. Let's go and grab our gloves. And that's our bag of stones. As well as our healing herbs. Let's take our bag of stones. I'm not going to take healing herbs. I'm going to roll because I want to find ourselves another Bloody Amulet. Which I'm going to take in the next round. But I also want to find ourselves that gloves. But another Bloody Amulet is going to be huge. Also, let's actually put in a freaking set of healing herbs. Some more regen for ourselves. We could also add in our bag of stones, which we probably should do instead. But I'm also speeding up our bloody dagger because getting this to hit super fast does gives our vampirism stacked up to 5 and also gives us our heals. Keeping us healthy, long enough for a knife to meet to trigger, increase our damage, and just being able to win out against Reaper. Hell yeah. Now speaking of crazy, that's going to be a Falcon Blade. So hell yeah, that's going to be awesome. We're also going to be speeding up our dagger along with our broom. We're also going to be speeding up our broom along with our knife to meet you, so we could end up running out of stamina, which is not going to be so great. We'll see how we get on with this. I did also move our chipped amethyst in to try and remove some of our buffs from our opponents, which they're going to be trying to steal our buffs with the daggerang boomerang combo, and we're going to have a small chance to remove our own buffs basically. But looking kind of smashing, definitely so. And with our Falcon Blade, we're going to be speeding up our knife to meet you as well. Let's go ahead and grab you. Let's roll. And we're on track to get our magic staff. Now I'd love to grab this stamina sack, but I also want to roll to try and find one more dagger, which unfortunately we didn't really get. So let's get moving on. Falcon Blade is going to sit in this position. It should be able to speed up our knife to meet you down to about 6.3 seconds. It's also going to speed up our Shelly. It's going to speed up our Amateur Wilds too, so we trigger after 4 seconds. Give us our spikes and gives our heal a little bit earlier. Now our opponent is removing a lot of our buffs with the chin up. That's kind of crazy at this point to be facing double chin ups. And unfortunately, yeah, that's madness. Holy moly, did we get destroyed by that. But we got a magic staff. Now we're 150,000% going to take Brass Knuckles. Other option though is we could take Shaman Mask. Or we could even take Wolf Emblem since we already have a pet. Shaman Mask we could end up multi-stunning, which would be kind of nice too. But I want to keep it simple and go Brass Knuckles. And that's literally Spiked Staff into another dagger, which is smashing. And I want to continue to roll. Center Blueberries is crazy because we're going to need some mana generation. We're really lacking that. And I'll be back in a second while I sort our inventory out. So this is looking pretty good. Now I did move out our knife to meet you outside our duffel bag. Or outside our fanny bag. So we don't get that initial speed like I did want to. But it's still going to get the speed from Falcon Blade. And it's going to be going pretty fast with 2 daggers. We're going to scale up our crits in this position, which should be amazing. And do we want to grab ourselves Heroic Paw? Heroic Paw to keep with our stamina. It also works perfectly with our Shelly. I'm actually kind of down for him. We'll hold on to it and check out how much stamina we're going to be using up. Now we do need to start off with a crazy amount of mana, so we get our Spiked Staff to actually start stacking up our power. We get our lifesteal from our daggers, which should be amazing. And not looking too bad. Stamina wise, actually not too crazy either. So I'm not sure if we do want to take it. Since we're going to take a stamina sack, I think that's going to be pretty good for us. Let's roll, and I don't really want a Hunger Blade. I want to keep rolling to try and find more daggers, especially more blueberries. We roll again, and we want to grab this shield. We really want to grab the shields. I kind of want to grab more healing herbs, and I want to actually craft up a stone golem. I'm going to sell this little gemstone to grab more healing herbs. And let's get moving. Stone golem will go a long way, except we are facing Mrs. Struggles like crazy, which is going to move pretty much all our buffs. It's going to be a lot of cold on us. Slowing down our Brass Knuckles, slowing down our knife to meet you. Can we beat him down before that becomes an issue? It's kind of looking like so. Hell yeah. Definitely so. And we could actually take Hardwood. We could take Hardwood, we could also take Bagged Sackler, speeding up our Brass Knuckles, exactly what we want. We could take False Life, turning our Vampirism stacking into overheals. I do like that quite a bit. Hardwood does give us a ton of block though. A crazy absurd amount of block. Am I mad to take it? Because if you get a Moon Shield, it's going to give us a ton of mana by having this beside it. I'm going to take Hardwood. That is a hard container. On sell for 6. We just need 1 stone. Let's grab our armor. Let's grab our Protectable Purse. Let's roll once. And unfortunately, we can't really afford to fit any of this stuff in. I think we take our bag stones for now too. We take our bag stones, we move on with this. Because we can get 100 max life for the hard container with some more power, which is going to be relatively nice. Our opponent does have Falcon Blade, which is going to be inflicting quite a bit of cold. They're going to be attacking through armor, and with the dagger ring they're going to be stealing some of our buffs. Now we really do need more mana generation to get our power stacked up insanely fast. But hell yeah, we did some big old damage, not too bad. Now you're going to be instant activating your Heart Container, which I'm down for. Let's roll. That's a mana orb, which is perfect. I'm debating on whether 100 HP is better than 80 block. I think it's probably going to be better than 80 block. We really do need this storage. I really want to buy this runes, but unfortunately we just can't really afford it. Because we could just end up going like this instead of using our Heart Container. That way we get 30% more of a block, which I'm kind of down for. We should be able to stack up our mana a little bit easier. Hell yeah. Definitely so. Since we have our mana orb, we should 150,000% be able to stack up our mana, get our power a little bit easier once we get our moon shields. Yeah, we're going to be able to start off with a ton of mana. And it's looking pretty good. Hell yeah, definitely so. We could take a Twine Badge to speed up our Spiked Staff. Well, first of all, let's go ahead and grab 2 fanny packs. We're going to need both of them. We might as well grab our little Forging Hammer and let's roll once. That's another freaking dagger, which we're going to take. We're definitely going to take at this point. It should be relatively awesome. We also probably need to grab ourselves a stamina sack. And yeah, I'm happy enough to continue on with this. I'm not putting in our Heart Container just yet. We should be able to get 15 mana off the rip, which is amazing for a Spiked Staff. I mean, yeah, we're just going to have constant power stacking. Our opponent does have an Excalibur with crazy amounts of freaking smelly walls, which would be inflicting a lot of poison. However, that's a good bit of damage on our side. In terms of DPS, we actually managed to get about 72 DPS at this point of the game, which is pretty darn smashing. In terms of heals, we managed to get about 30 healing per second from our Vampirism, most of all, which is pretty nice. In terms of block, about 200 block. But I do think we can actually make this crazier. Potentially. Let's go to grab our stamina sack. We could start grabbing a bunch of fanfares if we want to. Since it is on sale, might as well grab it. Let's roll. And we do want to grab ourselves another stamina sack. Do we want a Prismatic Orb? Prismatic Orb would give us more mana off the rip. It would be kind of nice. Not as interested in it. It would help stack up our Vampirism a little bit easier. But I don't think I want it. Do we want a Stone Skip Pop for even more block? It could be kind of nice. More block means more mana, means more damage. I think I do want to take it. But I still really want to get the Stone Golem. We get the Stone Golem, we have an increased chance of stun. We also stack up more power, we also get more block. And it's looking pretty good for us. Our opponent does reduce your healing, but since we stack up so much block, it's not going to matter too much. Hell yeah. Definitely so. Now that's another dagger. That's another dagger. Let's grab our Stone Skip Pot. Let's roll. And it's not the storage I was looking for, but we'll take it. We'll definitely take it. Let's keep going. Let's take this fanny pack. And let's get going again. Mana Orb is amazing. Because we could end up just activating a big mana buff bomb, which would give us a ton of buffs too. But our Knife to Meet You does trigger after 4 seconds, which is amazing, even though our opponent does have some cold on us. Give us our damage super early on. And that's a lot of cold on us, which could be problematic since they have so much block. And since they have Shielded Ice Buckler, they're going to be blocking a lot of our damage too. But are we going to be able to win out? Because we've got 15 in power, we are slowly running over mana. But that's crazy cold on us. And we do answer back with loads of damage. We just need 2 more big hits. Can we get there? Just one more? Hell yeah. Brass Knuckles to win out for us. Grab a mana orb, let's go ahead and grab a fanny pack. And let's keep rolling. A second Heart Container. Could be kind of nice. Now I'm still going to grab more storage. Wasting a lot of money on storage. And we could straight up grab a second shield. We can also craft up some Spectral Daggers, which I'm not as interested in them. I'm going to start a little Forging Hammer. I did keep it because we are stacking up in power, so it would be nice to add in for a little bit more damage. But I'm going to keep rolling for now. And we just can't find that one single stone. We find that one single stone, we're in a pretty good spot, except actually, we're using up a lot of common items. So we do got to keep an eye out for more common items, because we end up getting more block. Which means more mana, which means more awesomeness. Now we are facing 2 shields, which is eating up a lot of our stamina, which could be our downfall. Now our daggers don't consume stamina, neither does our Brass Knuckles, so that could be one way we actually win out. We're not stacking up as much in power as I'd like. And our opponent does have tons of lifesteal, pretty much healing back quite a bit. However, It's looking like it's not going to be enough to win out. Oh no, that's another mana orb. How can we say no to all these mana orbs? We also crafted moon armor, which I do like quite a bit. I think I'm going to take it. Let's roll once more. And we're taking this. Do we want to Stone Golem? We would instant activate it, since we have so much regen. Do we sell our Shelly? Shelly does give us a bit of cleanse, especially with our Amulet Wells. I do like it a lot. An insane amount. But we do need to craft up our Stone Golem this round. Do we sell our Stone Skin Pot? I'd be mad to sell that too. We could have also sped up our Shelly as well by having our Stamina Pot near too. We would end up losing 80 block from a Hardwood, but also gain the 150 block. So it is going to be worth it. We can sell our regen, we can sell our bag of stones. And Shelly does cleanse those debuffs, so I'm going to sell our Stone Skin Pot, as mad as that is. Now we're going to lose out on a crazy absurd amount of block, but I do think it's going to be worth it. Actually, we could have sold some regen if we start off with an insane amount of mana. Let's go ahead and grab ourselves a set of blueberries, and let's get going. So we should start off with 40 mana. It's not too crazy. We also want to get as much of block from our Hardwood, which is not too bad either. We are facing a Turbo Excalibur, which is going to be lots of heat, but we actually stop him from getting off the ground, can we? It's looking a bit close. Hell yeah. Just in time, they were about to go straight up nuts. Now, actually speaking of nuts, we got our Stone Golem, we got another bloody Amulet, we're going to grab this bit of storage. Let's grab you too. Now I want to roll to try and find some more common items, except that's hard to pass up on. It is the final round of crafts, so are we going to be able to take it? Because another Vampiric Dagger would go a long way. Again, I do want to keep our Shelly though. We could also increase our crits on our Stone Golem. Or maybe we want our Stone Golem in this situation to be just sped up by our Falcon Blade. Give us our block. I think we roll. That's another set of blueberries, which I'm kind of down to take, because it's going to be 20 more block for each magic item. Let's continue to roll. That's our Stone Skin back, if you wanted to. We should be able to generate a lot of mana with our Mana Orb in this spot, and we should be able to get tons of damage with our Night to Meet You, as well as get tons and tons of block with our Moon Armor. But yeah, I think we're going to move on with this. Should we reserve this a little protectable little purse? Should we actually grab this for the next runs? I do like our setup quite a bit. We should be able to get tons of mana. We should potentially be able to get a big mana buff bomb. And we actually do. So we get crazy absurd buffs, we get crazy block, we get tons of empower, we get our Stone Golem online. And we should have an increased chance of stun with our Stone Golem along with our Brass Knuckles. And hell yeah, this is looking just straight up smashing. Now we could actually take an Artifact Stone Heat and increase the damage on our Falcon Blade. It is on sale. Might as well take it. Let's roll. Let's go ahead and grab this fanny pack. Let's roll again. We gotta take this because that's gonna be 20 more block, which means more mana. Let's keep rolling, and let's roll again. Now realistically, we'd like to have our Artifact Stone Heats pretty much in this spot, or also pretty much in this spot. Or even in this position. Now, you're only going to be thrown once to give us 3 heats, so we're kind of actually relying on our Mana Orb. Stack up our mana first. Now, I did buy this Pocket Sand, but we can't really afford to add it in because I do want our Fanfare in this position. Artifact Stone Heat, I do want to be targeted Falcon Blade, and I'm looking at this bag of stones. Which means I'm going to sell you to grab our bag of stones to increase the damage on our Stone Golem. Which means I still want our Amulet Wells to target our Shelly so we can cleanse some debuffs if it comes down to it. But this should be our final setup. And actually, what a super fun build it was. A Knife to Meet You, Falcon Blade, Spiked Staff type build. And crazy mana generation for a big mana buff bomb into kind of taking Hardwood just for a bunch of block. But let's go and see if it's going to be good enough. Are we going to be able to win out? Let's see. I'm going to slow this one down. We are facing a Null Blade, Staff on Healing Mage with a Prismatic Wands, Allspirit Companion, and they're going to be removing some of our buffs with that Dead Loss. But can we deal our damage? Get our power. They're going to be flicking some debuffs as well. And we'll see. We got tons of Prism. and smashing. The fight is literally over, which is amazing. So in terms of DPS, we actually managed to end up with 124 DPS, which is amazing. Being our Spiked Staff, Stone Golem, Bloody Daggers, all down to our Falcon Blade. And in terms of heat, we managed to get 1 extra heat from our Mana Orb, which is kind of funny. But in terms of heals, we managed to get about 90 healing per second, being our Vampirism giving us a crap ton. And in terms of block, about 565 block. So overall, a pretty darn smashing builds. The Magical Fighter, Falcon Blade, Spiked Staff, always an awesome combo. But the Bloody Daggers going a huge way for us, giving us tons of heals, which is awesome. However, we did survive a fight that's left. Let's go and see just how much rank points we managed to get. Plus 14, ranking us up to 90. But anyways, I'm going to leave you for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope to keep a look out for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, we're back in some round 18 fights, and we're going to see can we deal with some other builds. Now, we are facing this Berserker build, which I've seen quite a bit actually. Magic Torch, Claws Attack, they're going to be trying to stack up a lot of max life. We'll see how to get on. Because right now, they do get invulnerability, giving them time to heal back up and stack up their max life, but I feel like once it ends, it's going to be over. Now, can we deal with a Flame Up Turbo Shelly Time Melting type build? They're going to have crazy block, they're going to stack up lots of heats, and they're going to have damage reduction for a long time. But we're also going to have crazy in power and lots of damage. And can we actually deal with a Crossblade, Falcon Blade into Pumpkin type builds? Berserker. Definitely an interesting builds. We're going to have lots of damage, but we're going to be stunned like crazy. We're going to be stacking up a lot in power, and it's not going to be close whatsoever.